Happy Thursday, stamping friends. I am here today and I have a lot to share with you. So if you are joining live, make sure you say hi. Excuse me, I'm getting a frog in my throat. If you are watching the replay, I would also love for you to say hi and let me know that you are here. It's always fun to see who's watching and interact. So last week I was not able to go live. One of our cars had a problem, and it happened Thursday afternoon actually when my husband was picking my kids up from school. And so usually if I'm not able to come live, I pre-record, but the time was over for me to do that. So his car is in the shop and we were down to one car. So he worked from home all of last week, and the space where I do my videos is where he works when he's at home. So that was not going to work for me to be doing my video while he was working in here. So I had to cancel and pivot. So we'll talk more about that in a minute. But if you are watching me from YouTube, I know some of you do, make sure that you have joined my email list, because there was no way for me to let you know last week that there wouldn't be a video. I did email my email list and post on social media, and you can also follow me there. But if you are watching from YouTube, make sure that you have joined my email list so that you don't miss out when things like that happen. But I'm glad you're joining me today. I have a lot of things to show you before we get started, and then of course I have some super cute cards that we're going to stamp with the Reindeer Fun bundle. The first thing I have here is our paper pumpkin flyer for this next quarter. So October, November, December, these are always my favorite months of paper pumpkin because it's usually the Christmas crafting, and I love to craft for Christmas. So October's box, the subscription period just opened yesterday. It is going to be a special box. It will make Christmas cards, 10 cards, 5 each of 2 designs. They are trifold card bases, which is kind of fun. They're specialty green foil, and it coordinates with the Ness of Winter Suite out of our holiday catalog, which is really pretty. So I am excited for this box. The other exciting thing about October, let's see if I have this underneath here. I do. Is that if you are a brand new subscriber to Paper Pumpkin, you can get October's kit for 40% off. So what this means is if you have an email address that you have never subscribed to Paper Pumpkin with before, you can go to paperpumpkin.com and you can use the code HOLIDAY40 to sign up, and then your October kit will be 40% off. So this is just for October's box. You need to sign up by October 10th, and I will put a link to that in the description when I'm done. But it's going to be a really good box. If you have not subscribed before, you will want to. It's an easy way to get started on your Christmas cards too, because it's a kit, everything is included in the box, and it's a lot of fun. Then November's kit is going to be treat packaging, it looks like. It says it makes 8 stockings with 8 gift tags. I love the colors on this one. I think that is so fun. I'm not too excited about the stockings, but the tags, I think, of course, can be put onto cards. So that is what I'm planning to do with those. Or maybe sometimes I use these for teacher gifts at Christmas time. So depending on the size, this, I'm guessing, might fit a gift card for a teacher and maybe some little candy. So that might be a cute idea also. So that has another fun box. This would be great for regifting. You could make a tag that fits over that paper pumpkin part. And use the pretty box. So that one is awesome also. And then December says that it is going to be cards with hand-sketched botanical designs. So a good way to add some cards to your stash for 2025. And I think this color combination is really pretty too. And it looks like it has vellum in it and pretty little gems. So lots to be excited about for Paper Pumpkin coming up. And then they've started doing this quarterly add-on of dies. These are $12, and you can buy them if you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. So they coordinate with that quarter's kits. This Mary one coordinates with October's, the tag coordinates with November's, And then this, it looks like a fern leaf kind of, coordinates with December's, but of course you can use them for other projects too. So if you are a current subscriber, you can purchase those starting now, and they are while supplies last. I don't know that they've really run out too quickly of any of the other die add-ons, but I think this tag one and the Mary especially I really like. So if you want those, make sure you shop. Okay, so that's Paper Pumpkin. Now, talking about last week. So I was not able to come live, but I decided that I was still going to offer the cards from last week and change it into a little class. Oh, I called it a pop-up class because the class popped up kind of out of nowhere. The cards are not pop-up, so I'm sorry if that was confusing, but these are really pretty cards using the Splendid Autumn Suite. And this class I decided to offer just for a week. So today is the last day to sign up if you want it. It is, oh, let me check my prices here. My memory used to be so good at remembering all these things. It is not anymore. I'm sure some of you understand that. Okay, this class is $42 plus $10 of shipping. And what you will get is you're going to get a card kit to make 6 cards, so 2 of each of these. Everything's going to be die cut for you. So this is kind of a mix of the card kits I usually do for these online classes every week and the classes that I offer separately from this. So everything will be die cut for you, including the elements from this bundle. You will need to do your own stamping. I cannot include stamped images, so you have to do your own stamping. It is mostly sentiments except for this tree ring. So you can do all of that. You could use a different stamp set. This one is actually out of stock. It went out of stock a few days after I did this class. It is supposed to be back in the week of September 23rd. So you are still welcome to add the bundle to your class kit. Yours would just ship a little bit later then if you do that. Or you can substitute other stamps. But you'll get the card kit, and then you also are going to get a whole package of this beautiful designer series paper. You're going to get a full roll of the wild wheat ribbon, and then you will get a package of the gems. Now these are supposed to come back in stock. They also went out of stock. I think I told you guys this. The suite is going to go out of stock. I thought the paper would be first, but the gems and the stamp set. So the gems are supposed to be back in next week. So if that happens at the beginning of the week, I am going to put in my order and include these. Otherwise, I have a backup plan, and there are some other very pretty dots that I will include instead that you can use on your cards. So I will put a link for this class in the description when I'm done also. But today is the last day if you want that card kit. Okay, I do have one more class to show you, and that is my Christmas card club, but I think we're going to wait until the end because my Christmas card club, I actually use the Reindeer Fun bundle that we are using on our cards today. So, man, I have a scratchy throat today. Let me get a drink. I did, excuse me, I did a video for my team earlier, and I was not able to go live to them last week either, so it got a little longer. And I think I've just done too much talking today. Okay. We are using the Reindeer Fun bundle today. I know a lot of you are really loving this one, and I do too. I think it might be my favorite out of our holiday catalog. But it includes a stamp set, and then this die set is actually really large. It's 2 sheets of dies. There's some that cut out the images in the stamp set, but then you've got a lot of fun other little pieces to play with too. This reindeer is super cute. We are going to create him on our first card today. Well, you've got the wreath over here. You've got holly that you can make. You've got several different presents and bows, Christmas lights, bells. I think this Stampin' Die set is awesome. If you think so too, let me know because it's great. I love it. There are these really cute peppermint embellishments. As you can see, I have used quite a bit of mine. These also went out of stock, I think, the very first day. They are so much fun. I think they go well with some of our other products too, not just this suite. And so these, I think, are supposed to be back in next week too. really popular, and you can see why, because they are so, so cute. Also in this suite is one of our huge embossing folders. This one is called Forever Plaid. I have been using it a lot. I really, really like this one. And then we've got our designer series paper that is 12 by 12. And I'm just going to take out and show you the different sheets. So we've got trees. This one is more of like a background. You could cut out scenes from this one. We've got a sheet of reindeer here. Now some of these, I think like this one, can be cut out with the dies. A lot of them though can't, but you can fussy cut them. So lots of options there. Then on the back we've got presents, and I love the traditional Christmas colors on this. Really cute. Okay, this next pattern is my favorite. I just love the reindeer with the wreath around his neck, and I think the pool party is a great color to go with those Christmas colors. Then we've got holly on the back. So lots of traditional Christmas things, but it's just so fun too. Okay, I will say this pattern's not my favorite, but if you like the garden green with those little reindeer, it's still a great pattern. It's not my favorite. I will most likely be using more of this side, which is fun Christmas lights. Then we've got another sheet here where you can cut out some of these images or make like a background. This one right here you can cut out with the dies. The others can be fussy cut. And then this is a fun one too, this plaid on the back. All right, let's see. I think I've got maybe one more pattern here. So here's another one with fun scenes. Okay, do you not love this one? The reindeer ice skating. That is so cute. The little one pulling his sleigh with the bunny, a snowman that looks like a reindeer. Okay, these cannot be cut out with the dies, but it would be so fun to fussy cut some of these and put them on a card, don't you think? And in the back, you've got your bells. So the designer series paper is really what caught my eye first in this suite, but I love the rest of it too. And then let's see what else. We've got the real red and white baker's twine. And then also in this suite, there are book treat boxes, which I did not get yet. But let me show you in the catalog here. So the book treat boxes, these would be fun if you are giving little gifts at Christmas. If you want to put candy in there, I believe a gift card would fit just fine. Put a whole stack of gift cards in there if you really like the person you're giving it to, right? But awesome. So right now you cannot use the Suite Collection number because these embellishments are out of stock. But you can order anything else that is in the suite, and I just love it all. So, okay, we have 3 cards to make today. Let me get those out to show you. They are super cute. We have this reindeer here. Well, let's see if I can fit them all in. There we go. So these are the 3 cards that we will be making today, and you can follow along. I will tell you all of the measurements as we go along so that you can copy them if you would like. If you would like this week's card kit sent to you, you can shop with me today through Tuesday using the link that I post in the description. And if you spend more than $40 before tax and shipping, I will send you the card kit. If you spend more than $50, I double the card. So then you get to make 2 of each. And as we go along, what I dump out of my envelopes is what you get in your card kit. So they will be packaged up like this. You need to supply your own stamps and ink and adhesives. So if you do not have the Reindeer Day or the Reindeer Fun bundle yet, you can add it to your order. And I also do not include the ribbon or the embellishments. So you can use whatever you have on hand at home, or you can add the ones I've used to your order as well. Now today I thought we would use these fun little snowflake embellishments. They're called White Loose Snowflakes. and you get a whole little container of them. These are part of a different suite, the Snowy Scenes. I'm going to check. Because I think these two suites, really a lot of the products coordinate really well together. So the Snowy Scenes suite is another really fun one. This is another one of my favorites. But it has Pool Party ribbon, and there's Pool Party in some of the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper. Of course, the snowflakes go. So I think you can mix and match a lot of products from those two suites. So I decided to use the snowflakes for our embellishment today. We're going to use a little bit of the real red and white baker's twine. And then for this one, I also used this silver and white sheer ribbon, which is really pretty. And I love this for Christmas cards. So you could also use the baker's twine. I just wanted something a little bit larger on this card. Okay, let's get started with our first one. So this reindeer is created with the dies, and it's super cute. And maybe you saw my post yesterday about how we get that little red reindeer nose. And mine is in this package, so I think I heard it fall out, but oh, there it is. We have to be careful not to lose that. So I'm going to put it right there, and if I cannot find it later, you tell me. It's up at the top of my glass mat because it's tiny, so it may get lost. Okay, for this one we have a real red card base. It's 5.5 by 8.5. Oh, and I am out of practice because I wasn't here last week, but I should tell you that I draw winners from everyone who comments and likes the video and interacts, and I send the 3 cards I make today to 3 random people. So if you would like a chance to win one of the cards, make sure you're interacting with me. I do draw from commenters first, and then if I don't have a lot of people comment, I choose from people who have liked the video. So I appreciate your interaction, and I love to know you're here, and I love to know what you think about the cards and the products too. Okay, then I have a piece of white here that is 5.25 by 4, and this one I embossed with that Forever Plaid embossing folder. I love, love, love that. So we're just going to lay that down flat on our card base. And you can use whatever adhesive you like. I like Stampin' Seal Plus the best. All right, then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper, that fun plaid pattern that is 3 by 4. And if you have watched me before, you know this is my favorite size to cut the Designer Series paper. And then a real red piece that's 3.25 by 4.25. And you know I love that size because then you have no waste on your Designer Series paper if you are making a bunch of cards that size. Okay, so we're going to put that onto our real red. And then this layer we will pop up with some dimensionals. All right. So I'll put that onto our card base. Then I have a basic white circle that I have cut with the Stylish Shapes dies. That's going to go next. And there's quite a few layers on this card, so I did not pop this circle up with dimensionals, but you could. Then I have a garden green wreath that I cut with the Reindeer Fun dies. And I have the 3 pieces of my reindeer here. So let me get out the dies to show you what I did here. There are a lot of different combinations you can do with these. So this is going to be your bottom layer with the antlers. So Early Espresso is a really good color for this. That's what I've used here. And then this is the middle layer. And this is where you're going to see just the little whites of the reindeer's eyes. So you can see where it comes through there, kind of the background. So for that one, I've used basic beige. You could also use very vanilla or basic white, depending on what look you want. And then this is the top part. I've used pecan pie, but you could use like copper clay or crumb cake, and you can play around with the different combinations. And then to get his little red nose, you need to cut this piece in real red, and I just took out that center piece. So that's how we got his red nose there. So now we're just going to layer together, and I think the best adhesive for this is the green glue, just because then you have a little bit of wiggle room to make sure your pieces are in the right spot, and it's not going to completely stick right away so that you can't move it. So you want to line the basic beige piece up on the early espresso, and mostly you're making sure that this part around the bottom is lined up exactly, and his ears. And then you can decide if you want to put his nose in next or put on the pecan pie. I think I'm going to do his nose. So I'm just going to put a little dot in there. Pick up that piece with my Take Your Pick tool because it's so tiny. And then sometimes it just sticks to the Take Your Pick tool. I do this with the snowflakes too. I use the end of my snips to hold it down because you know it's going to get stuck to my finger if I use my finger. And then we'll glue on that pecan pie piece last. You could also use adhesive sheets with these, but I think it's a little bit easier to have just a little bit of wiggle room to move it around and make sure it's in exactly the right spot. If you use the adhesive sheets, I feel like you might rip the cardstock if you don't get it in exactly the right place the first try. So this one I line up the ears more than anything, and then the bottom will come into place because you see there's nothing along there to line up. And then you can see the little whites of his eyes and that cute little red nose. I love these dies. Okay. Oh, I'm going to need a little bit more glue. So what I did was I kind of stuck him into the wreath, and then I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right in here so it kind of sticks to the back of him. And then I added him to my card with dimensionals. So that'll finish helping everything stick. But I just put a little bit of glue there so that it'll stay in place while I am adding dimensionals. And if you overlap just a little bit, that kind of helps it stay in place too. And I think I'm going to use some of the edges of my dimensionals. Maybe that went too far. If you use the edges, or you could use mini ones to fill in his ears. I need to move that just here. There we go. And let's see if I have another edge here. Just half a dimensional. So you can cut them in half too, if you don't have the mini ones, or if you don't have the edges. I did get glue on my fingers because now they're sticking to everything. Okay, and we're just going to put him in the center of that circle. All right, now I have a little banner, a basic white banner, and this I've cut with the Hearts and Hugs dies. So that is a super cute bundle too, but I have found it is the perfect size for this Merry Christmas. So we're going to stamp that in real red ink. And it fits perfectly in that banner. So I have been using this a lot because it is the perfect fit. Okay, so this one you can decide if you want to lay flat or if you want to use dimensionals. I'm just going to do mine flat. It could be popped up on dimensionals because the reindeer is, so I would not add any extra layers. Oop, I got a little bit. My real red ink smears very easily, so I have to be careful. Okay, now we're going to add a bow with our baker's twine. If you have like a smaller red ribbon, that would look nice here too. So we'll trim that. And then we're just going to add this to the wreath. And I'm going to do that with a mini glue dot. And then we'll finish off with a few of the snowflakes. So there's larger ones and smaller ones. We'll have a variety on here. And I think I'm going to add, so these kind of remind me of like silicone type material. I'm not sure if that's what they're made out of, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. They're a little bit small to use with glue dots, so you probably want to use your liquid glue for this also. And I am going to use the Take Your Pick tool. I guess I'll have to set those down. And just like I did with the nose, just hold it down with your snips. Otherwise, it'll keep sticking to your Take Your Pick tool and not stick to the glue. So there we go. There is our first card, and I think this one's my favorite today because I just love this reindeer cut out of the die cuts. Okay, that is our first one. Let's move him out of the way. I'm going to close up my glue for now. And here is our second card. So this one, I've cut the reindeer out of the designer series paper. And with a little bit of TV magic, I did that ahead of time. So you would not have to watch me do that. So this one has a Granny Apple Green card base that's 5.5 by 8.5. And then a piece of the designer series paper that's 5.25 by 4. So remember I said this was not my favorite pattern, but I do like the Christmas lights. So we are using a nice big piece of that side. I think the Granny Apple Green is such a fun green for Christmas. It's still like your traditional green, but it's bright, so that makes it more fun, I think. Okay, for this one, I have a piece of white that's 3 by 4 and a piece of red that's 3.25 by 4.25. So I'm using kind of the same sizes. This one we're going to do a little bit of stamping on first. So I'm going to start with this tree. I love this tree in the stamp set because it has the little star at the top. And we're going to create kind of a little background for our reindeer to sit in. So I'm going to stamp just a few of the trees to make a little place for those reindeer to sit over here. That one was maybe a little bit low. You know what? I'm going to flip it over and try again. Maybe I should set him there so we can see that. Okay. I'm trying not to stamp too much off the edge because I don't want to make a mess on my glass mat. I did not bring my cleaning cloth in here today. Okay, I think that's better. There we go. Something like that. I guess I could add, well, I'll leave it like that. You can add as many trees as you would like. And then for this one, since we have the two reindeer here, we're going to use the Christmas is Better Together sentiment and our real red ink again. And this is going to get stamped up in the corner over here. There we go. Okay, so let's layer our stamped piece onto the real red. And no one's going to know about my boo-boo because it's getting glued on the back. Although there's a little mark on that side I'm not a fan of either, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay, so this I've just cut out of the designer series paper. I fussy cut this one. And as you can see, they're different. Like this one is facing one direction, this one's facing the other. So there are different ones in the paper that you can cut out, or you could pick one that can be cut out with the dies if you don't feel like fussy cutting. Lots of options. You could even pick a piece from a different pattern of the designer series paper, but one that will kind of nest in those trees somehow, like that. Okay, now we're going to attach that piece with some dimensionals. like that, and we'll put one in the middle so it doesn't sag, like so. And then so you can just see those Christmas lights peeking out around the edge. I love that. All right, and then let's see, let's do our ribbon next. So I'm going to use some of that silver and white sheer ribbon and tie a bow. And again, any ribbon that you have, if you have red, if you have white, I just thought a little bit wider ribbon was good for this corner instead of just the twine. So whatever ribbon you want to use, maybe you have some old Granny Apple Green, or I don't know if we've ever had, well, no, we did have garden green ribbon not that long ago. So maybe you have some of that in your stash, and that would work well here too. So really cute. And then we're going to add a few more of the snowflakes. So it's snowing on those reindeer. So let's see here. I'm just going to kind of follow what I did here and put my, well, I guess my trees aren't exactly in the same spot. That's what happens. You get a little bit different card every time you make one. All right, so that's pretty close. I'll put my glue first. Get our take your pick tool. Your take your pick tool is your best friend when you are using little embellishments like this. Okay. Let's see if I can find a small one in here. Oh, I picked up two. All right, well that's okay because we need two. If you do not have a take your pick tool yet, you definitely want one. It is one of our lower cost items, and I use mine all the time. It is great for picking up embellishments. It has like a spatula end. If your cling stamps get stuck to the case, it is really great at getting under the edge and picking them up. Sometimes I use this end for picking up embellishments too, or poking out those die cut pieces. It has a lot of uses and other attachments too. I mostly just keep these in, but it is very useful. All right, so here is our second card. That one also super cute. I think anything with these reindeer is really cute. Okay, moving on to our third card. I wanted to use this kind of peek through die that is in the set and show you what that is like. So let me pull that in so you can see which one I'm talking about. So it's this die right here. So when you cut it, it does not cut like all the way around the edge. It's cutting this inside part. And it is about, you can get away with 3 3/4 inches to go around it, but I think 4 centers nicely. So like if you were doing a square, you could do a 4-inch square around the whole thing, and that would work too. So for this one, we have a thick basic white card base that is 5.5 by 8.5, folded in half. Then this piece is garden green, and it's 5 1/4 by 4, and then I used that die to cut out that. I did find with this die, it works the best if you run it through back and forth a few times. So don't just go through once. Go through and then go back and maybe back another time, and that just helps all those little pieces get out. And then I have a piece of the Designer Series paper, and this I cut 3 7/8 to 3 7/8. So when you layer it behind, it is just a little bit smaller, so you won't see it peek out from the edge, but you'll make sure you get covered all the way behind that cutout. So the easiest way to attach this, I think, is to put a little bit of glue just around the edge and maybe through here so that your Designer Series paper can stick where you want it to. And then you will get it lined up so none of the edges are peeking out like that. And then to attach it to our card, then I will go back to my Stampin' Seal. You could keep using glue if you wanted to, but I am not as big a fan of the glue, so I will go back to my Stampin' Seal Plus whenever I can. Okay, so there's that. Now I have a little piece of white here, and we're going to stamp our reindeer. Now this is one that there are some in the designer series paper, so you could, if you don't feel like coloring, you could cut one out of the paper also and use that instead. But I'm going to ink him up in Memento Black. And that is the black ink you'll want to use if you're coloring with Stampin' Blends markers. If you decide to color with a different medium like watercolor, then you would want to use your StazOn black instead. And for my reindeer today, I am going to use my crumb cake markers. So I like to start with the dark, but that is totally up to you if you start with dark or light. So for this guy, I'm just going to kind of make an outline around the edge with the dark. Color around his ears with the dark. That's the back of his other ear, so we'll make that all dark. Just a little bit of line up there. And then you see where some of these lines are in the stamp set. That's kind of a good clue of where darker areas should be. And then kind of an outline around his edge too. Oops, I went out of the lines a little bit. That's all right. It does not have to be perfect. I'm sure that other people might have a different way to color it. I just do what I think looks good, or I follow what I see in other samples or see other people do. Now first I want to kind of go along that dark edge, and I'm kind of blending it. So these are Stampin' Blends markers, right? So you can blend the two layers of color together. And then you don't end up with those marker lines that you get with a lot of regular markers. So that is one thing I love about our Stampin' Blends. And every time you color over something, you get another layer of color. That's how I like to think of it. So even though, well, I mean, I have two shades, but even if you were just using one shade, you could keep going over the same area and it would get darker. So I kind of like to do that and work my way towards the center. And then you can kind of see how it's darker around the edges. It gets lighter as you go to the middle. So then you get a nice variation of color. Like that. Now I decided to leave that little part of his tail white, but I pulled out my light petal pink to color in his ear. It just adds a little bit of color. You could leave that white too if you wanted to. Okay, so now that we've got him colored, there is a die that cuts him out, so you don't have to fussy cut. So we will pull in our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Now, I'm not sure if that cutout piece will fit in this one. Let's double check it. I think all of the other ones will. This one might just fit in there. So if you only have the mini machine, this die set will still work for you. They will all fit in there. Okay, so when you line him up, you want to make sure that you don't really see a white edge around him. There will be a white edge when you die cut, but you want your die to kind of hug that image. And if you are not as brave as me, or dumb, depending on how you look at it, use some washi tape or a Post-it to hold it in place where you want it. I don't know, maybe lazy is the right word. I rarely put something on my dies, and sometimes I pay for it when they don't cut out very nicely. So don't do like I do like I say. So there we go. We've got him cut out. pop that piece out. And then we're going to add him with some dimensionals across that cutout. Ooh, that was almost bad. Good thing it didn't stick. Okay, so he's going to be hopping across there. And then I have a white label that I've cut with our Nested Essentials dies. We're going to get our garden green ink back out. And this time we will use this sentiment, may all your days be full of cheer. I like this one with the jumping reindeer because I think he's just jumping because he's so joyful and cheerful. So I think that is a good sentiment to use with him. Okay, so this one I added with some dimensionals also. And then we're going to finish off with a little baker's twine bow around his neck. Now this just fits in here. I had it so that it's kind of centered, and then it just comes up in there a little bit. Okay, I did a double bow with the baker's twine. So get about as much as you need to tie a bow. And then I double it up, cut it, and then I'm going to cut it in half. And then we'll tie our bow. You could do just one bow if you don't like the double bow. And we want to make it kind of small because his neck's not that big. And we'll trim. I need to clean my scissors. They have been used to open one too many boxes and they're a little sticky. Okay, or my children or husband has grabbed them to use them. That happens too. Okay, there's his little bow, and then we'll finish with some of those snowflakes again. So just like the other cards, I'm going to add my little dots of glue, and then we'll use our take your pick tool to pick up the snowflakes. I think my glue is getting a little bit low. There we go. All right. Try and pick up only one at a time. Those two want to stick together. So have you been crafting for Christmas yet? I craft for Christmas year-round, but I really love this time of year because everybody else starts crafting for Christmas too. So then I'm not all by myself crafting for Christmas. But I love to craft for Christmas. And we usually send out between 100 and 150 Christmas cards. So I have to start early and work on it year-round or they won't all get done. And I don't know about you. Before I really started doing this as a big business, and I won't say my business is super big, but bigger than it used to be, I would make all the same Christmas card and just mass produce. And now I just use all the cards that I make in my business year round, and then I usually have enough. Okay, so there is our third card. Also cute. All right, let's bring back in all three that we made today so you can see them. So remember, if you would like the card kit this week, you need to shop between now and Tuesday. Spend more than $40 before tax and shipping to get the card kit, and if you spend more than $50, I will double the cards. So now we're going to talk a little bit about my Christmas card club because I used this bundle for that this month also. If you are already a member of my Christmas card club, you're one of my favorite people because you love to craft for Christmas like I do. And if you are a subscriber to that, you might be interested in placing an order this week and getting the card kit for these cards too. And then you can get even more cards made with your Reindeer Fun bundle. If you're not a member of my Christmas card club yet, maybe you will want to be if you liked these products today. So my Christmas card club is $44 a month, and it runs year round because, like I said, I love Christmas and I craft for Christmas all year long. So I have 8 cards every month that you make in my Christmas card club. You get supplies to make 2 each of 4 designs. These are the 4 cards this month, so you get to do that cute little reindeer again. This month's club kit is going to include a half package of the Reindeer Days Designer Series paper. You're going to get a roll of the baker's twine. These embellishments are supposed to be back in stock next week, so I'm hoping that they'll be in there. Otherwise, we'll substitute something else fun. And then you're also going to get some of this glimmer paper, which I love. So it has 3 colors. It has the Granny Apple Green, it has the Garden Green, and then Real Red. And I used it on 3 of the cards this month. So super fun. So let's take a little closer look. That $44 a month includes that product. That includes the shipping cost. You will have extra product left over to use on other cards. So that is fun also. Each month you can choose to add on the bundle or the stamp set that I use. So for this month, it'll be the Reindeer Fun bundle. You can also add on any of the inks that I used, and I don't charge extra tax and shipping on those if you add them on. I just invoice you separately and then add them to your kit, and so you save a little bit on the tax and shipping, and that's a perk of belonging to the club. Now it is a club, but there's no commitment to belong for a certain amount of time. You can join or cancel anytime that you want. But there is a perk for sticking around, because for every 6 consecutive months that you belong, I send you a fun little gift package. And so it's kind of fun. So if you want that, I'll put a link in the description when I'm done. The deadline for the Christmas card club is the 15th. It's always the 15th of the month. And then the kits ship usually on the 25th of the month. I give myself 10 days to cut all the card kits and order the product and get them sent out to you. So if you would like that, make sure that you sign up. I cannot post it is a subscription link, and I'm not allowed by Stampin' Up's policy to include that here, but I have a sign up form, so you can fill that out and then watch your email for the subscribe link from me. Okay, I think that is all I have for today. I am working on my card club cards this afternoon, so hopefully the sneak peek for those will be coming out soon. And I will see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great week. Bye.